is a royal member of a family? Excellent. Okay.
I didn't say prince. I said queen.
Oh, I am so sorry. A queen is a royal member of the family. That is the woman. That is the mother, the queen. Landon, tell me another royal member of the family.
A king.
A king. That is the male or the man, the father, royal member of the family. Any other royal members in a royal family? Yeah, there's Russell. Who's another royal member? Yeah, we said the king. What about his son? What's he called? The prince is a royal member of the family. Excellent, Russell. And of course, if he has a sister, that would be the royal princess. What if they have a dog? What would that be? Estelle?
A royal dog.
It'd be the royal dog, of course. Okay. Very good. Today, yesterday we read a nonfiction story about a king. It's not nonfiction, fiction. We read a fiction story about a king. Does anyone remember what that king's name was? You've really got to put on those detective thinking caps and think hard. The king we learned about yesterday. Smriti?
King Midas.
Kiss your brain. King Midas. Good job, boys and girls. That was the king that we learned about yesterday. King Midas and his golden touch. Now, long ago in Greece, hundreds of years ago, when that story was first told, they would tell stories like that to teach children a lesson to learn. What was the lesson learned in our story yesterday? Adeline, can you tell me the lesson learned?
That you should never trust a man.
Well, that's true. However, so King Midas kept on wanting more and more and more and more. But really, all he needed was what he already had. So he had to learn to love what he had and be content. Good job, Adeline. You can mute your microphone. Yes, to be content and appreciate and love what you have. Very good. Well, today we're going to read another fiction story, except this is a nursery rhyme. Most of you have probably heard it before. Do you remember way back earlier in the school year when we learned about nursery rhymes, like Baa Baa Black Sheep or This Little Piggy Went to Market? The title of this nursery rhyme that we're going to be learning about today is called Old King Cole. Old King Cole. Let's look at the picture of Old King Cole. I'm going to show it to you. Hold on, let me pull up my slideshow. Here it comes. Okay. Look at Old King Cole. Look at his picture. Which one of these people do you think is the king? Raise your hand. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in this illustration. Which one is the king? Carolyn, which one's the king?
I think like have the
You think it's like a wand?
the drink.
The drink in his hand? Yep. And this is called a pipe. time ago, and some people still do it today, men would smoke what's called a pipe. This is a pipe, and here is a glass. How do we know that this is the king? Who can tell me? Is there a symbol or any way we know that this is the king? How do we know? How do we know that this is the king? Jonyan?
Because he's sitting down on a royal chair.
Oh my goodness, Jonyan, you're right. He is sitting at a throne. Very good. There's another way we can tell. Landon, how else do we know that he's the king?
He has a crown.
He's wearing a crown on his head. That's another symbol of royalty. Is there anything else? Anya? What's he wearing?
Royal clothes, and he has a royal cup.
What, he does have a royal cup and his robe. We talked about the royal robe. Excellent job, boys and girls. Now, let's talk about some things that we see here. We talked about the pipe and the cup. Do you know what these men are called? They're called fiddlers. Fiddlers. This is a fiddle. Another word for a fiddle is the violin. And in this story, old King Cole will listen to his fiddlers 3. That means 3 men playing the fiddle. Have you ever heard someone play the fiddle? Raise your hand if you have. So most of us haven't. Well, guess what? I have a clip to play for you of a girl playing the fiddle. Now, the fiddle is common to play it. Usually it's an upbeat, happy dance. And this girl is going to, in our clip, play the fiddle for you. And she's from the Appalachian Mountains. That's right here in North Carolina. She's going to tell you a little bit about it. So, let me pull up our clip, and we shall listen. Give it just a second to pull up. Here it comes.
Breakfast that's...
Here, we'll let it skip the commercial. Okay.
Tunes get their names? Well, you've heard of Fire on the Mountain, right? Did you know there's a very interesting story that goes along with this tune? The thing about it is, you're supposed to play it as fast as you possibly can. This one old hillbilly, he was playing it on his fiddle in his cabin in the Appalachian Mountains, and he was playing this tune as fast as he could. He got to playing it so fast, moving his fingers, moving his bow so fast, that the friction caught his fiddle on fire. And he dropped it, and it caught his cabin on fire, and eventually it caught the whole mountain on fire, and so now they call it Fire on the Mountain.
Okay, so that's the song. The song that she's playing is called Fire on the Mountain. And that's the old tale, that's the legend, which means it's probably not true, behind that. So let's watch her play and listen to her. She's standing on a board because she tap dances while she plays. to dance to and be happy about? Yeah, makes me want to play the fiddle. Makes me want to have fun. So, in this story, we'll hear about the Fiddlers 3. And also, we're going to hear the word Old King Cole was a merry old soul. Here's the word soul. In this story, Old King Cole was a merry old soul. Soul is another way to say person. So they're trying to say Old King Cole is a happy person. Merry means to be happy. That's what it meant long ago. See, long ago, different words had different meanings. He called for his pipe and he called for his bowl. A bowl is another way of saying a big goblet or a big cup, like we see in the illustration. And he called for his fiddlers 3. So let's listen to the story and see what we learn about Old King Cole. And was he a happy king or a sad king? Let's listen to it. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. Every fiddler had a very fine fiddle, and a very fine fiddle had he. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. So, let's break down this poem and talk about it a little bit. Old King Cole was a merry old soul. What does that mean? Raise your hand and explain it to me. What does that mean? Old King Cole was a merry old soul. How was he? What does that mean? Can anyone raise their hand and explain to me? Anya, you want to explain what it means when it says Old King Cole was a merry old soul?
He was a king, and he was old, and he was very happy person.
Excellent, excellent. He was old, he was a king, and he was happy. He was a happy person. Awesome. And a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe and he called for his bowl. Remember, the bowl is a cup or goblet filled with wine, which was a very expensive drink hundreds of years ago. Only the royalty could drink it. It was the finest drink that you could drink as a grown-up. And he called for his fiddlers 3. So remember, those are 3 men that play the fiddle. And we learned what a fiddle was. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Let's talk about that. There's none so rare. What does it mean if something is rare? Does anyone know what that might mean? Landon, what does that mean?
It means that it doesn't happen a lot.
Oh, you are so smart. Kiss your brain. You're right. Rare. It doesn't happen much. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Do you think hundreds of years ago, if you were a peasant or someone that just lived like a normal person and you wanted to hear music, could you put your DVD into the DVD player? No. Could you turn on the radio to listen to music? No, not hundreds of years ago. The only way you could hear music is if you yourself played a musical instrument or someone in your family. Unless you were the king, and the king could summon his servants, and they could come and play. So when they say there was none so rare as to compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3, that means it was very rare to snap your fingers and get 3 men to come play music for you. That was rare. That did not happen often. Only if you were the king. Okay, let's read the poem again, and this time I want you guys to echo me, and then we're gonna say it all together. So just echo what I say. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl. And he called for his fiddlers 3. Every fiddler had a very fine fiddle. And a very fine fiddle had he. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare. With King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Good job. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to ask you some questions. Who was the main character in this poem? Who was the main character? Let's see. Oh man, almost every single person's raising their hand. Yay! That makes my heart so happy. Ryan, who is the main character in our story?
The king?
Yeah, do you remember his name? He's King what?
King. So?
King Cole. Very good. Okay, we know he's a king because of his throne, his crown, and his robe. Does he look happy in our illustration? Does that match the poem? Most definitely. Why do you think he's happy? Nicole, why do you think the king is so happy?
Because he is a king. He's sitting in a royal chair, and he has a crown, and he can use the cup either. He can listen to music.
Oh, that's good. I agree with you, Nicole. He's happy. They're playing music for him that no one else in the land can do. He's drinking from a royal goblet of the finest drink, smoking a royal pipe, and having a great time. All right. Can the fiddlers drink from the king's royal bowl? Can the fiddlers do that? No. If it is royal, only a royal family member can touch it or use it. Let's think about this for a minute. In this poem, Old King Cole called for 3 things: his pipe, his bowl, and his 3 fiddlers. And he got them right away. If you were a king or a queen, what would you change in this poem? For example, instead of a pipe, you might call for a pizza. Instead of 3 fiddlers, you might call for 3 ballet dancers or 3 people that wanted to play for the piano. So what would you call for if you were the king? Landon, what would you call for?
I would call for some music.
Okay.
I would call for a drink. I would call for a throne.
What? Okay.
And I would call for a pipe.
What type of drink would you call for? Would you call for Mountain Dew or Sprite or milk, chocolate
I
milk?
would call for Sprite.
Very good. Okay, anyone else want to share? What would you call for if you were the king or queen? Anya?
I want to tell you something, but I could also answer your question.
Okay, answer my question, then tell me something.
Okay. For my drink, I would like Sprite too. And I would like piano players because I play the piano too.
Oh, how excellent. What did you want to tell me? That you played the piano? Okay. Now, let's look at your old King Cole puppet. Now, some of you may choose to do this, some of you may not, but I wanted to share it with you. Let me pull it up quickly so I can show you. I think it shows
Miss
you.
Kate,
Yes,
where
ma'am.
do we get the puppet bag from?
I'm going to
I don't
show
have
you.
it.
Yeah, look up here, sweetie. Oh, the bag. So if you don't have a bag, that's okay. But what you could do is put it on a sheet of paper and just do it that way. But right here, we have our King Cole puppet bag. So you can see, here, let me download it so that we can see it better. Here it comes. Okay, let me fix it so we can see. See old King Cole on the bag? So you turn the bag so that the bottom part is there, and you can color and cut out his head and put him there. And then there's his pipe and his bowl and his robe that makes him royal. Or you could just glue this on a sheet of paper. And then on the back of the bag, you can glue his poem. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. You could glue that on the back of your sheet of paper if you wanted to. So have fun with it, make it your own, and see if your mom and dad know some of this terminology. They may have forgotten, what does it mean to be a merry old soul? Or what does it mean when it says King Cole called for his bowl? See if they know if it's a goblet, which is a fancy Nancy word for a royal drink, a royal cup. So see if they know that. Well, thank you for joining me this afternoon, boys and girls. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning after my car rider line, okay?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss Kate.
Bye-bye.